Hi. Good day, Crazy Mountain 100 training people. Um, week 11 is done. Week 11 was pretty hard. I was really tired from the weekend before when we crewed our friends. I just made it for a long start to the week. Got through it. Did a bar class on Monday. That was really good. Has an element of stretching in it, even though it's a lot of technical single muscle working. Still has an element of stretching into it. Tuesday went and ran my last 3-mile repeat. That was hard. I kept it about the same pace as I did my last one because I didn't need to push any deeper into my tank. So I did that. I stayed at exactly 7:30. So I think it was a 7:30, 7:32, and a 7:33 mile pace. It worked out really good for me. Wednesday, what did I do on Wednesday? Oh, crying out loud. I did something on Wednesday. I can't recall off the back. I forgot my paper and everything. I'm just winging it the best I can these last 2 weeks. I had Thursday off and then ran 8 on Friday, did 20 miles on Saturday, which felt pretty good. Did a nice long, slowish long run, which felt great. So my recovery throughout the week felt really good. And then Sunday, woke up and did a 12-mile run. And that felt kind of hard. So did a bunch of hiking. So that was more pole work day, hiking day, and all that kind of jazz. So, which worked out good as the back-to-back, which is the next part of, after talking with a friend who's newer into the running community, into our running community, and still like learning ropes of like how these things work and how they operate. He's finished 100 before, but still growing as an ultra runner. And he had mentioned that a lot of the people that we run with who do these hundreds don't run with their packs on and don't practice hiking with their poles. And I quietly just raised my hand and said, well, that's not this guy. I said, I tell all these other guys and folks that we run with that every long run, you should be your first pack weight, let's go for the 100 or the event that you're trying to do. If you have a lot of mandatory gear, always run with all of your mandatory gear. That's what this training cycle's for, is to do all of that work and to make sure that everything you have works and that everything that you need fits, and that all of those things become muscle memory, so that when you're tired, you're not thinking of it. Your hands already know where to go because they've been trained to do that. You're not searching for things because nothing's lost, because you already know exactly where these things are until it's not, and then you can freak out, throw everything down the side of the damn mountain and like go ride a goat on it. That means you should probably also eat everything that's in your pack and get out of that funk, and you got to crawl down and get your pack and probably get attacked by something because you were stupid. Anyhow, I digress. So yeah, I put full 2 liters of water, full front bottles, pack down all of the food like I would to leave out through at least the first aid station or to my first crude aid station, whichever the event kind of has And I try to always run my long runs with all that gear. And as the long runs get longer, like I have one more 20 miler to do, and then everything bumps up more than 20, which means I start adding in lots more hiking, which means I will actually be taking out my poles, doing a little pole work during those long runs to get my body adjusted to holding and working the poles for extended periods of time, because that's what a lot of us are going to be doing. And it's really important that we practice these things early, often, and work out anything that needs help. You'll quickly find, hey, maybe I should be doing a little more shoulder work. Maybe I should be doing some more tricep kickbacks. Maybe my lats hurt from holding the pack weight. Maybe I should work on those. So there's a lot of learning that can happen, and that's why we train. We train to learn. Yes, we train to be good at our event and have a fun time and feel well during the whole thing and feel like we can accomplish it. But we're here to learn and work all that gear out and use everything and prioritize your mental notes on things. Write them down, put them in somewhere where you can go back and look at them. It's super important to have all this stuff in our minds and muscle memory. It takes so much extra effort off of us during the event. That's why it's called training. And then, so like I said, Sunday we went out and did 12, and I usually like to do these runs with my wife, so we always get to run together at some point, because it's a slower speed. We run more at her speed, which is a little slower than my speed. Not much, but just a little. Means I'm comfortable moving that fast. And then we take lots of hiking pole breaks. Usually we'll do the first half without poles, and then whatever the second half of that length of time is, or mileage is with poles. So I can usually from now on have at least probably 6 hours of pole work every week from now out. Now, if you don't use poles, good on you. Have fun. Get out there, crush it your own way. But for those of us who do, and I know that almost every single one of us will be wearing a pack, load that sucker down. It's depressing sometimes when you get out there and, I had a friend who just did a race, and he trained the whole race and didn't ever really wear his pack, and his pack broke twice, which would have probably broke before his event had he worn it that extra length of time and packed it full of everything. He found that he couldn't pack enough food with him because all of the extra gear he had to have. So if we don't use it, we won't know the answers to these questions that are there. We just don't know to ask the question yet. So big advice this week is use your pack, use all your equipment like you're starting your race for your long runs. It doesn't mean anything if you go out and do your long run with skimpy threads on and you're pounding it out. Yeah, I did my 22 miler in this amount of time. And then you're going to throw a pack on, you're going to throw all the technicality on, you're going to throw talking to people on, you're going to throw having to take care of yourself on, all this stuff, instead of stopping by the car every few miles and grab a drink or whatever. So let's get all that sorted. Until week 12, already halfway through week 12. Good on you. Peace out.